The loaded gun and poison dart. He always aims with a heart. Knows how to hurt me, knows how to win. His love's a kick in the shins. I never thought we'd go together, but now I never seen it. Cause when he falls, I see the tide.
What's the first song that made the biggest impression on you?
I think the first ever song that I really loved was, Harry Belafonte. Most people don't know this one, but it's a song that went, Matilda, 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 she take me money and run Venezuela. And as kids, there are 3 kids in my household, and I'm the middle child, and we would just stand in the living room and shake our butts all day to that song. It's the best.
So let's talk a bit about your growth musically. How has your identity and ability as a singer-songwriter evolved over the years?
I think for me, evolving musically has involved mainly a lot of unlearning. So I came from a classically trained background, and I guess that made me think about music in certain structures and boxes that I sometimes wish I didn't have. And so when I started jamming with the people I consider now to be visionaries who write and perform progressive, interesting, genre-pushing music, I just felt really lost and handicapped by my training. And so kind of learning how to be free and respond emotionally and more viscerally to music has been my biggest growth, learning from other people around me.
Great. And how would you describe your approach to songwriting?
How do I write a song? Pretty varied again. My favorite way of writing a song is in a room with a bunch of people. I get lonely easily, so kind of taking cues from what people are doing and responding is my favorite way of writing, which I do with my band Sab Shaman. With .gif and solo, it's kind of more of a bedroom situation, either program on Ableton or have an idea and sketch or voice memo and then kind of craft it digitally.
Theatre has become part of your repertoire in the last year. What revelations have theatre making provided you?
I think the thing about theatre that has really pulled me out of my shell in some ways that with theatre, on a stage especially, you can't hide behind the abstractions or vague metaphors of a song. So I think theatre has kind of forced me to confront and be a lot more immediate and personal about what I want to say and how I want to connect with people, which has been very alarming and naked in some way, but also I think it's made me a lot more garang in some ways. Yeah.
You have been very personal in your work. Could you share a little bit more about your recent work with Checkpoint Theatre?
Yes. So 2 Songs and a Story by Checkpoint Theatre was a kind of a revelation for me. The brief was literally, please make something, got 2 songs, got 1 story, can liao. Just 20 minutes-ish, go. And that kind of freedom and trust was really important. And yeah, I ended up, writing about very personal traumas that have been very new feelings for me and derailing who I thought I was as a person, in that kind of existential way. And I tried to write all kinds of other nonsensical stories, but I couldn't run away from addressing this thing. And it's been crazy cathartic. There have been people who have eerily similar 3 a.m. feelings that have reached out with long essays, people who've written out my lyrics, transcriptions from the songs. And it's just been a whirlwind of an experience, pre, during, and post, just an adventure. Yeah.
So mental health has also been a key theme in your work. How would you describe your own mental health journey?
I guess through what happens to be my experiences, I've had a lot of people around me dealing with various mental health struggles, and it's for me always been about being on the outside looking in and trying to understand that kind of existential anguish that isn't just intellectual, that is like boring out from within you. And I think it only hit me like that last year when like a big thing happened in my life and it really just crushed me. And yeah, so I think it's always been an external thing, and now it's kind of much more embodied.
You've toured the world with your music quite a bit over the years. What lessons, experiences, or stories have you gathered from your interactions with other musicians and performers?
It was watching this band called Tom's Story, a Filipino band in the Philippines. They're an instrumental band, no lyrics, no vocals, and they're like, sing along if you know it. And I'm like, wait, how? I know this band's music. Then everybody goes, and everyone's just singing these offbeat mathematical guitar riffs in perfect unison. It's just, yeah, one of my best stories.
You're currently working towards your own solo body of work. What can you share about it at this point?
I was working on things that I've now abandoned. Files are in the bin officially. Also because just working on a software as half of .gif, I just kind of sound like half of .gif making half of .gif stuff. And after 2 songs and a story, I realized that after the response from that song I did with just the piano, I realized I forgot the love of that kind of just pure stripped back acoustic writing, and I think I'm going to try work in that direction.
What is the most helpful advice you've received that continues to resonate today?
Oof. I think that piece of advice came from Huzair Sulaiman in his capacity as some sort of mentor a long time ago back in school. And he said, just say no lah. Like, it's just that. So learning how to say no has been a huge problem for me. And just kind of deciding what projects or people are worth putting time and effort and heart in has been a skill I'm still learning. But I always just remember him saying like, just say no lah. And remembering that it's an option is a great piece of advice that still rings in my head.